Welcome back to Wedding Mayhem, and we've got some drinkers here because we're celebrating. We have just hit 4 million views.
Woo! Amazing.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So Liberation Cocktails have kindly sent us in some drinks.
Cheers, guys.
I've got a margarita.
I have got a mojito. Let me
What have you
taste it.
got?
Strawberry daiquiri.
Oh, say that again.
Strawberry daiquiri.
They're
Yeah.
delicious,
Oh, it's
aren't they?
What's yours?
Margarita
Oh,
with a
nice.
chili.
I'm
Ooh.
not sharing.
You're not sharing. You did Bagsy that very, very quickly.
That is my drink, though.
These are fantastic for weddings, though, aren't they?
Perfect.
So good.
So today's episode, I thought that we would talk about disasters. Don't look at me like that.
No, sorry.
You're like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, disasters.
So disasters, because they do happen.
They do.
No matter how much you plan a wedding, they
I'm a
do
forever
happen.
optimist, but yes.
So I
Things can go awry.
where this thought come from, I don't know whether it's an old video, but
loved ones.
I'll share this with you. So literally, as he's doing his vows, a rat falls out of the tree.
Falls out of a tree.
Out of a tree.
Oh my God.
So they're doing their vows, like, hold my hand.
You know I'm like terrified
Don't
of
hold my
rats.
hand, like.
Okay, there's no rats.
I do take thee.
You're not going to throw a rat at me.
And literally, as he's like, I love you, you have my heart, hello.
Sharon, I'm
and
so
literally,
glad you finally missed it. Oh no.
and a rat literally jumps, and they all laugh.
God.
What more can you do?
You know, and
I would run. Oh my God. I have a complete phobia of rats. Like, I'm literally terrified.
If I was in the ceremony music, I'd want to play There's a Rat in the Kitchen. I'd want to make a joke. Like, you have to
make a joke.
Yeah,
Harry.
yeah, well, they all laughed.
But who caught the rat? Like, what happened to the rat?
There was people running around, but the photographer was on his belly, like, he's like,
Filming
yeah,
it.
great, yeah.
Oh,
but
my
it literally
God.
fell out of the tree.
What country were they in?
I don't know. It wasn't this country.
God.
Yeah, but
I'm prepared for anything at a wedding. I never
But there's
thought I had to
another
be
video
prepared for
that I think was out last week, or it might be the week before, but where they're actually getting married and a spider's nest falls down and falls on her head.
Where are they?
Again, I think
In a
it's
cave?
abroad, but there's spiders everywhere, and like, he
my
just
God.
stands there. And celebrant just carries on.
We
going.
do nice weddings. Let's just put this out there. We do nice.
These are quite obscene, crazy things.
Yeah, they are literally extreme things,
Yeah,
but these
yeah.
are things that you haven't prepared for. Why
No,
would
it's
you
true.
think that a rat would fall out of a
Saying
tree?
the wrong
right?
name at the altar.
Yeah, that's a classic, isn't it? And some
Yeah.
people do that on purpose. You know that, don't you?
Well,
Yeah.
Ross and Friends.
Yeah, but they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
at
And it's
weddings.
very naughty because it delays the ceremony. And the
You
celebrants,
said
yes.
this.
So they get very.
They-
last
it's
week
a
they got
legal
told off.
ceremony.
The groom
Yeah, it's
got
a
told
legal
off.
ceremony. You shouldn't be messing around.
Should not joke. The groom got
Yeah.
the registrar got very serious with the groom and told him off and said, "I'm in charge. You get this right now." And literally, everyone was laughing at the groom because it was like a bit of banter, a bit of a geezer. And then she went into serious mode, and literally everyone went
Because it's a legal ceremony.
100%. Yeah.
Legal ceremony. Did his phone go off? Is that
No. That was a photographer's phone went off during the ceremony recently as well.
what a legal ceremony?
Yeah.
I mean, relevant whether it's
Yeah.
legal or not.
That is really bad.
That's-
Photographer's phone, not like one of the guests. The photographer's phone. Everyone was like, because obviously they stand up and you tell people, ladies and gentlemen, please put your phones on silent. And then literally the photographer's phone went off, and like literally it was like.
It can happen though, because as suppliers, we need our phones on right up to that second. And then obviously during a ceremony, mine's always off. But then as soon as it finishes, it's got to be back on because someone might be contacting
trying
me.
to contact
So it
you.
can happen, but you've just
one
not
of
great.
my girls, her sister went to a wedding last week, and they had an unplugged ceremony. Hang on, it was completely unplugged. So all the guests, no phones. So
Wow.
they were told. So that's fair enough. So they expected that, but they had no photos of them getting married. No photos of the ceremony.
So there's no photographer.
No photographer. No photos whatsoever were taken.
And the reason for that was
They just didn't want them. She doesn't like herself in photos, and that's it. They didn't want them.
some people.
bit sad.
I'd say 50% do unplugged, but then when you say that, you've got a videographer, a photographer, a content creator, and then they pay you to.
Well, now you've got content creators for the suppliers.
Yeah.
Are you hearing this?
So they video us.
Yeah.
Our
So
job.
you're bringing people that are videoing you doing your job.
Yeah.
That's been going around for years.
Yeah. We're hearing from more and more brides about suppliers going bust.
And it's not only a headache finding a replacement, but it also means any deposits and payments you've made have also probably been lost.
Well, that's where wedding insurance comes in. Wedding Insure offers comprehensive wedding insurance, so you're not left out of pocket should something unexpected happen.
And it's not just about supplier failure either. They also cover things like cancellation and rearrangement. So if a parent or even you or the groom falls ill, or the venue floods the day before.
Yeah, and things like theft or your beautiful wedding dress gets stolen, gifts and don't forget the rings, all starts from £38.99, 10 tiers of cover from £6,000 all the way up to £100,000.
Exactly. They also have a bunch of add-ons like public liability, COVID-19 cover, marquee cover, and more, so you can just add on what you need.
Wedding insurance can provide essential financial protection when things don't go to plan, and it does happen.
So get yourself over to weddingsure.co.uk to get a quote and get your big day covered.
And make sure you read the T's and C's. So why are we now, content creators, but why are we then paying content creators for our wedding when we've got all these people doing our weddings and we've got suppliers doing theirs? Why can't we take all of your footage?
I give any pictures I take for my wedding, I give to the couple
100%.
next morning.
They get from us. They get
and I
collage.
take about 400 for the day.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my couples go, "Why did I get a photographer?" You took.
We've had exactly that recently.
Yeah. And I get good behind the scenes ones that the photographer's obviously. I'm not a professional photographer, it's my phone.
100%.
But of course, with a good phone, you do get some lovely pictures.
Yeah.
And you can edit them as well straight away. And then here's a picture of you having the dip and the kiss. I'm like, that was 5 minutes ago. I'm like, I've just stood at the side, edit it. And then I find that's the picture they use on their Instagram or their Facebook for the next day because they're excited because the photographers don't send it. Like some of them are precious a month later. I had a photographer the other day, I need to get permission of my photographer for me to send my photos to you.
Yeah.
And I went, do you know what? I'm not.
Yeah, I've had to literally apply for photos from a photographer. And these people paid an absolute fortune, like thousands and thousands of pounds.
This could be the same wedding.
Might be. We'll talk later.
Yeah, but literally, I just turned around and said, unfortunately, I'm not going to go through hoops.
No, a nice photographer is happy to share.
I work with a lot of photographers.
Get it. Why don't I get it? But I'm paying you £5,000, £7,000,
because
whatever.
The photographs are owned by the photographer.
But why? They're
because
me.
They're their property. And then if you wanted, because I've had this with celebrity
why?
weddings,
Why have we got to a stage where it's become their property?
It always has done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a celebrity wedding where the bride didn't want the photographer to use the photographs because she was like, that's my personal day. And she had to pay a huge amount because he argued, well, and it's totally fine, that with those photographs, he could get X amount of work.
Right.
So then she had to pay like a 50 grand retainer for him to release for him.
He was a clever man.
Yeah, well, it's business, isn't it? I suppose. But I'm paying you to photograph my wedding.
Yeah.
For me to have those photos. Yeah. Why am I?
No, it doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
No,
I don't
particularly
get
when
it.
you're paying him to be there and for his work on the day.
Yeah,
for that service.
I know that I recommend don't do that.
100%. And I'll send him a message a week later. Have you got any photos? Yeah, no worries. I'll send them over in a couple of days.
Because it's promoting their business, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you tag
a good
everybody
photographer
now.
will always share their work.
Yeah,
they're never like funny about it.
Definitely. I'm getting really cross now when I see it because weddings are really expensive. Anyway, so why are we now, cash cowing it even further, And
it helps everyone as well, doesn't it? Like, there's no reason not to. It's a kind industry.
Once the bride has got that okay, she was happy with her photos, that's when they share them.
Yeah.
I think, because sometimes they'll send a preview and then if they haven't, I looked a bit, I didn't like them, which possibly could happen, I don't know, I'm not in that circle.
I hate myself in photos.
And then...
I'm doing a viral podcast.
Yeah.
But it is difficult. But I mean, I'm getting a lot of photographers now that will literally tag me in and collab with me to share it. Because that's how we should be doing it.
I had one this weekend. We had a wedding and I filmed the band. The band were really good. I filmed them and I airdropped that video to them. And I said, if you put that anywhere, can you tag me in?
Yeah.
They put it all over social media and did not tag me in.
What?
And I filmed it for them and gave it to them.
Sue them.
I know, I was so angry.
Did you message him?
No, I just tagged myself into all the messages of it. So I commented many times and just
Over
created
here.
loads of tags. I was like, nice video. I wonder who videoed that.
Yeah.
No, I need to message.
Because
it's really cheeky.
Yeah, you can't bitch about them unless you...
No, that's true. All right, it's unlike me not to complain.
Some people do. They say to you, you've not tagged me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you know what? I just totally
forgot.
And then you go back and
you're like me, you're doing this.
And on the wedding day, you've got so many, when you're putting all the suppliers onto a post, it's like 50, 60 people. You might easily...
I had a great photographer last week, though. So I'd done the first dance. They videoed it. There were two photographers there. One was doing it on the whatever they were doing at camera, and one was on their phone. And I said, do you know what? I didn't video the bride and groom's first dance. And he goes, turn your airdrop and I'll send it to you now. How nice was that?
That's very
because they were like,
Team. It's team.
but that exactly, and that's
team.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about photographers.
But I forgot to
this
video the
episode.
first dance. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, we are talking about sort of things that can go wrong. So hopefully you guys can pick up these tips and have this on your list just to
pack a rat trap.
Pack a rat trap. So I put a post out, as I always do, on social media, and again, you guys came back with loads of stuff. First ones that came back were tech and entertainment, microphones cutting out during speeches.
So venue. So when you get a microphone at venues, which is the venue supply you, loads of people, they get the mic, bang on the top of it, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're breaking it for the next future people.
Yeah.
Like literally, when the one tip I say, when you get a microphone,
That's how we're taught, isn't it? 1 2 1 2.
yeah, but you don't tap. You don't tap something, which is like to break the sense.
It's like people who poke the wedding cake.
Yeah.
The number of people, oh my God, it drives me mad.
Is it real?
People go up to wedding cake and go, why are you doing that?
Is it real?
What do
Yes,
you
it's
think
real.
is going to happen? A rat's going to jump out of it. Like, why do people why poke a cake? I don't understand it.
So literally,
Stop
Drives me
poking
mad.
the
Do
cake.
not poke the cake.
that's why I just say to people beforehand, when we give you the mic, if you want to test it's on, just give it a little.
Okay,
Just a
blow
little-
into
just
it.
a little blow, and then you can hear it if it's on.
Yeah.
You don't need to whack the top of it because otherwise. But then sometimes it does. We are on site. We provide microphones for speeches, but we have a separate speaker next to them. But if the venue are adamant, oh, it's okay, we'll use ours. The batteries can run out.
Right.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's not charged.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just like we're on site. We're on the.
Or it might. These things are really sensitive inside. If it's been dropped, it
Yeah,
could
and
just
then
maybe
literally,
not work.
you just literally then just go. Yeah, here's another mic. There we go.
Yeah.
Crack
Are people still mic dropping?
They will be killed if they do that to me,
Right.
Because it's very expensive microphones.
Yes.
Some people joke about it, like, I'm like, that's a.
So
very
these
expensive
microphones, are they battery operated as
I'd say
well as that?
So mainly 90% of the time.
So
batteries
maybe
are-
on your checklist, I know it's a lot of things, but do I need to pack batteries?
Yeah.
But or speak to suppliers, like suppliers as us entertainment team, we will do the.
I know, but what we're trying to do is make sure that we're in control, just in
bulletproofing,
case
yeah.
we haven't. Yeah, bulletproofing, just in case these people haven't got it. So
You just make sure mics are fully charged for speeches.
And make sure they're checked before you all go into that area.
right.
So I always make sure all the music and like you would microphones, everything's
There's a
checked
sound check done in the
before
morning,
everyone goes
yeah.
into the meal. Because if that's where you're doing your speeches,
Do you
you
set
don't want to
up
be in there and
day
then do
off?
that.
Yeah, the morning.
Okay, morning off. So somebody could go down and maybe check it.
100% we check.
Or
yeah.
ask.
Yeah, yeah.
that
Well,
it's
that's what we
been
do.
checked.
That's what we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you do.
Yeah,
I know
and
you
you're
do.
checking with the when the best man comes in, you just explain how it's going to happen, and everyone who's doing the speeches,
Yeah.
check with them, just so you know.
This happened to somebody that wrote in Spotify playlist because they had no DJ, had adverts in it.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I wouldn't have thought about that until they said
You've got to have
it.
Spotify Premium and you've got to download all the music.
So is it worth knowing this and taking out one of these promotions that you just sign up for a month free?
Yeah, you
and
can
then
get
you
it-
can
yeah, you
cancel
can get
it
it
later.
cheap as
Sorry,
chips,
Spotify.
or just get a professional to do it for you.
Yeah, but if they haven't got the money for a DJ,
But do you know what
they're
that-
doing budget and they're doing a Spotify themselves.
Just always download your music and get
Okay.
the order of the music correct as well.
Download the music.
Always
You
download
said this
the
before because
music,
you might not have Wi-Fi.
off
Yeah,
like
we don't. The Wi-Fi in our venues can be a bit patchy,
Yeah.
and also I just would never rely on it.
Well, we
It's
talked
just
about
not a good
venues being
idea.
out in the sticks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So if
Yeah.
you've got no
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, then that's
Always download it and get your music into the right order as well.
Okay.
Really think this is not a 2-minute job, is it? This is days of
Yeah.
music in the right order. You don't want Barry White mixed in with whatever else it is. You want
I
to
don't
make sure
know.
it's.
Taylor?
You know what I mean? Like you want to have like the right feel for the
okay.
day.
And also, don't try. I always say, don't try and do the music yourself.
Yeah.
Even if it's on a budget wedding,
Yeah.
you could still say to one of your ushers could. I don't think they could do it for you, but like if you were doing a real budget wedding yourself, the bride shouldn't be organising that, worrying about that in the morning. I'm going to press play because
No,
some
totally.
brides are like, right, I'm going to walk down the aisle now. It's like,
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit like John and I, we had Signed, Sealed and Delivered played when we walked out, but I think we had it on a,
CD,
I was going to say, it wasn't that long ago. You were at the wedding.
2015.
But I think it was on a Spotify, but
Yeah.
it was the intro. So we walked out just to the intro, and as
Yeah.
we went out the door, then the words came.
So that's why when you're front, just before but when you plan the wedding, we speak to the bride and groom. At what point do you want that song?
Yeah.
So you will forward it yourself and cue it up, ready for when they're walking out.
Yeah.
So it's not. dun, dun, because you're gone by then.
No,
It's
totally.
like, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours, as you're walking. Yeah, so you do like cue up, so you
You should
define
go
that.
into DJing, you.
And even
Not
in
singing.
the ceremony, because there might be a really poignant part of the song where
Yeah.
the bride actually wants to enter.
Yeah.
It might not be the beginning bit, or she might want to get rid of that bit of the song completely. So we can always adjust that.
And that does happen a lot now. Last weekend, exactly the same
Yeah.
thing. Like literally, she came in at 1 minute 1. You know, that's when she wanted to come in of the song because it had a really long intro, and I'd never heard of the song, but obviously it meant a lot to them too.
Yeah.
It was playing when they.
I always recommend
I've got to tell you a funny song in a
when
minute.
brides come into this and we talk about it and their entrance music and stuff like that, and we always recommend going to the venue the next time and walking it, stepping it, so they get used to steps and stairs and stuff like that, and where the aisle's going to be.
Had exactly that last week.
time it.
100%. From the little kid they put in the car to bring the rings all the way down, their son in the car, the song was 3 minutes 90, something like that. He got all the way to the front, and just as the song finished, he got to the front in the car.
God,
so the day before, they took this little car out, this little Mercedes electric car. One of the bridesmaids had to walk behind him with a little car. But literally, I was starting to panic. She went, no, this song is spot on because it was a long walk.
So they practiced.
Yeah. It's so important.
And that's it. You don't want to be walking up the aisle and then suddenly, an advert comes on.
I've heard that
Or
many
get to the end
times.
of the aisle and then have loads of songs still playing. You
Yeah.
want it to sort of like be faded out or to get there
But
at the
you
right
do
point.
want a little bit more music to give you that breather space when you get up there. So the
registrar
the
registrar starts talking to them straight away and they want the music off. So the registrar will be like, nothing you want worse than walking down the aisle beautifully to the front, getting there, they've seen each other, that bit of emotion, and then you got the registrar going, cut the music. It just looks so unprofessional.
Really?
It does. Yeah, and so
do you not get time then when you get up the aisle for like your bridesmaids to do your train out?
a couple
They
of seconds,
mind
but it's
it.
not long.
but it is the registrar is talking to the bride and groom at that point, and they are very strict as we know, and they want to be able to talk to them. They don't want to have to shout. They will be talking to them very quietly, like, congratulations, now do you want to give your flowers to your dad?
Right, okay.
And stuff like that. So literally, it was nothing worse than years ago. The registrar's going, cut the music. It's like, all right. That's why But
You get an antsy.
when you get to the front.
What's the weirdest song you've had?
The weirdest one?
ceremony?
Oh, I feel a story coming along.
Okay, you go first. Let me have a think. Go on.
Okay, so I had a couple who walked out of their ceremony to Jurassic Park theme tune.
Jamie Lang wanted that for his wedding music. But you can do that with...
Is it? I thought that was a little bit strange.
It's a bit depressing, a bit weird.
No, but,
Yeah.
but if you get like an orchestra, like if you get somebody on the violin or bass, whatever it's played on, I think that would be quite nice.
Star Wars theme tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had
that.
a bride that's done Star Wars.
And then we've had stormtroopers at the door as everyone walks out. So as
Okay,
they go out to the door, there were stormtroopers. It was like,
That is weird.
oh my God. But they were
Was it-
big.
was it a-
Star Wars theme.
Did they get married on the 4th of May?
No. Wasn't that far, but they were a very, very Star Wars theme
But
couple.
that's fine, but you've got to go with it. You
100%.
can't just you've got to, you're in
Fully
it then.
committed.
You are like,
Yeah, 100%.
proper.
And Yoda comes
Yeah.
in.
Okay, well, you aren't...
Come and marry you.
Yeah.
Right, this goes...
Little Yoda.
This goes on to our last episode that we did, and I want the guys watching to cover your ears right this moment. Kids hijacking the dance floor before the couples get there. Here he goes. Right, ready? Get your drink, Holly.
I don't want kids at weddings. Like, you don't want to.
He's got issues with children.
Buckle up.
already.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Really, nothing wrong with it, but
It's fine. I don't think it's a problem as long as they clear off for the first dance.
100%.
But they're not monitored.
Because mum and dad.
Try and make an awful nice spice. It's so delicious.
It's these children are not monitored. We are doing a general sweep here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends.
But these floors are expensive, right?
Yeah, obviously the LED dance floor and stuff like that. I mean, some venues you don't need that, some you do. But if the kids are just running around, it's just stressful you see the brides out in the corner just like...
Yeah. And that's not what she's envisioned for her first dance.
No.
And if you've got like a special dance floor that's clean, like mirrored,
so we then clean it before they do it. But it's very difficult. Like you do say to children if they're at the wedding, right? All the children right now, I'd like you all to sit in a row there and sit still. And if you do that,
if you duct tape out.
No, literally, in the past I've said I'll give you £1 each. I'll give you
£1.
But if I want to, because I don't want the first dance to be ruined.
Child catcher.
Yeah, we don't want to be ruined for their first dance because they've seen all these videos on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the ones on my pages and the ones online. They have this vision in their head.
They're having the first dance and then suddenly all the kids come screeching in.
But a lot of people now are doing a practice first dance. So mainly in venues where there's different rooms, so the room turn around and everyone goes out.
Yeah.
So everyone go out the room. The bride and groom have seen that we do it and they come in beforehand. So they'll do a practice first dance. They'll get the videographer, photographer and ourselves just to video it. So if anything does go wrong with their first dance, as in they've got a little 30-second clip of them doing it perfectly without.
This is on the wedding day?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, smart tip, eh?
Yeah.
So it's just a little clip so that if anything does go wrong or if he stands on the dress, that doesn't happen. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
That would probably get rid of some nerves.
100%.
Because when people are
100%.
watching you as well.
They're so nervous because we're not used to like dancing in front of everyone, are we? No. So couples are now.
You've seen me dance. Oh, you have seen me dance, yeah.
But they do come in and just
don't really worry about that.
But not every venue can do that. Yeah. But some venues can.
Yeah.
Or last week on Zoom, I had a couple show me their first dance. They showed me it. So in their lounge, set the phone up, they're going to show me their first dance.
Brilliant.
Asking me, is this okay? 100%, perfect, brilliant. Yeah. You were engaged, is that okay? I was like, yeah, just...
How long should a first dance be?
Well, as long as they want.
It can be a whole song.
Yeah.
Be a bit of a song.
I mean, I personally don't think you should have a whole first dance yourself. It's a bit boring.
It does.
I love it when I say to people before, because the couple are outside, they're going to walk onto the dance floor. If you could all face the bride and groom when they're doing their first dance, because we've got the photographer, videographer. There's nothing better than having the perfect photo and everyone facing them. So I'm talking a minute, really a minute, and then you invite people on. Yeah. So when they kiss, you invite people on.
Yeah, our first dance was just John and I. Then that was mirrors, wasn't it? Yeah. Then it got into Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
And then my boy and his boy, then you go, and then everybody else came on. Yeah. And then John wasn't interested in me then. He wanted to dance and play wigs with Matt, my son. So
but that's like, you've had that moment together, then the family, and but you want people to be engaged, and it's a bit boring. Like, it's not boring, but like, it's the first dance is meant to be special. Yeah. And that's special for a minute, everyone watching. Yeah. And then, because there's nothing better than getting that amazing photo. Yeah. Then you get Auntie Flo, the back of her head like this. But she's around the outside of the dance floor. Yeah. And I'm like, if you had a minute, everyone just face the bride and groom for the first dance.
It's engagement, isn't it?
So it is like, practice your first dance. Don't forget to practice your first dance.
Yeah.
Weather wobbles.
Now this really
straight in it.
You can't do nothing about it.
But also, do not manifest rain by looking too early. I had a bride a few weeks ago and she was on the blower all day. It's going to rain. Oh, she's on the blower.
I had the week before. I had the week. It was an outside wedding.
2 weeks before, and I was like, there's no point. The weather is up and down like a tart's pajamas. You look on the Thursday for a Saturday. No one knows what's going on. You've got 6 different weather apps.
If you're getting married outside.
Yeah, but first of all, I think people look too early. I look on a Thursday for a Saturday wedding. I don't even, and I look a bit like I do in my bank account. I kind of look like this.
But I even said to people, like, embrace it.
But totally embrace it.
She bought a stand 25 umbrellas. Yeah. For instance, if it does rain, we've got some wicked cool photos of everyone outside.
Yeah. I think we had one wedding this year where it rained and the bride was so upset and she cried nearly all day. And it was just so sad because no one could do anything about it. And it was really upsetting.
This is something that you cannot control. You can't even control it when you're getting married abroad.
No, exactly. I've had weddings abroad where it's bucketed down.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the important thing is be prepared and just go with it. Whatever it is, just make it fun.
And girls, your wedding dresses, particularly if they are crepe or
Had this
satin.
the other day.
Because if you're walking across, there's a video on our TikTok, go and have a look at it. But basically going to where she got changed to her venue to get married, she'd done a Vicar of Dibley, basically. Oh, God. So she'd gone straight into the puddle and it ombre'd her dress black. And the bride was so bloody chilled. And she just said, cut it.
Yeah, I've done that.
And they cut the train off all the way down. You obviously don't follow me on Wedding Mayhem.
No, but I'm not picturing that at a wedding at the moment.
I've done this before.
They literally cut the whole off. Yeah. And
I had a bride cut her hair, but not her dress.
When she walked down the aisle, you would not have known what had happened. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And she carried that off.
But also you can depending obviously on the location.
Hold the dress up.
You can get a car to take you right up. We've had cars drive inside a marquee to deliver a bride and groom
Have you?
into a wedding.
Yeah, but these are your venues that you've got. You're really lucky, aren't you?
And I'm very
So-
nice. I only say no to
They're
my
very
children. They are
nice.
very nice. And I only say no to my kids. I don't say no to my couples. But you can, I think the thing is, everyone wants to make the day amazing. And so if it's a case of a car being a bit more lenient, letting you on the grass, getting you closer.
Yeah.
Then last week, I said to the dad before she walks down the aisle, because there was quite a big gap between the venue to where she was the ceremony.
Yeah.
And there was obviously the white runner when she got to where the chairs was. But I said to the dad, right, Dad, you need to hold the dress up.
Yeah, lift
and
it up.
literally hold it up.
Great photo,
It was
that.
a great video.
It is,
Honestly,
yeah.
the dad was
Yeah.
just,
Pictures.
and the dad was like, he was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, man.
That's why you've got to have good shoes.
And literally,
Yes,
he
they look
did,
good.
and he carried the dress. As she got to the front, he put the dress down and walked her down the aisle. But I'd already personally spoken to the groom, so they were going to do the same thing. So as they walked out, they stopped at the end, had their dip halfway and kissed. As they got to the other end, I said to the groom, like, you need to pick the dress up. So you walk back across to the venue, which he did. And there was a video of the dad walking down doing the same, and then one afterwards.
lovely.
Her
What
husband
I love
doing that.
about this is that, you're the DJ.
Yeah.
That's not your job, but you're
we're like the
doing
wedding
it.
host now, so we're like yourself.
Yeah.
We're there from
Yeah.
day one.
Yeah.
Like, so all these things working
I
on so
also
many
want to
weddings.
know about the tarts pyjamas. Do tarts wear pyjamas?
I think it's meant to be a tarts knickers, but for some reason I always say
They're
tarts
pyjamas.
Because pyjamas just seems. I just imagine someone in pyjamas with them up and down. I've always said pyjamas. I think my grandma started it.
Food and drink.
What do I want some? What's the question?
Yeah, no, food and drink. What's the
Disasters.
food? Running out.
Running out, which happened. So
Yeah.
it does
I've never
happen.
had
a lot.
that.
Yeah, but you over
it
cater.
can.
Yeah.
I mean, it can. Yeah.
But when you have like your canapes and stuff like that, you always get people that always steal the pigs and blankets, and they leave like the fishy ones, and that's all you've got left over. So if you're the one tending to the bride and stuff like that, and you've gone back.
Venues at the moment aren't running out of canapes.
Good.
I haven't seen. If anything, there's too many canapes at the moment.
Right. Okay. Well, these are
This
actually
is what I've seen in the
these are
last
ones that
6
come
months.
directly from brides
Last
that have
6
been married.
months
Yeah.
at venues. I think because who does it look bad on if they run out?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, it looks bad on the bride and groom because they haven't paid enough.
But it depends how long you have that cocktail hour or canapé.
How long are we doing cocktail hour for?
What reception drinks
Yeah.
after? We always do an hour and a half.
Okay.
So an hour and a half, two till
I'd be
3:30.
smashed.
Well, you've had food as well and photographs, but that's like an hour and a half from the end
Forget
of the
about
ceremony.
food.
Yeah, ceremony's at 1. By the time it finishes,
half an hour
possibly she's
ceremony.
about 15 minutes late.
Right, okay.
Then photos start from 2.
Sorry,
At
late. Who's late? Why are
I
they
was going
late?
to say, are we allowed
My
to be
wedding's
late?
no one's late.
Yeah, but at the moment, the registrars are taking such a long time talking to the couples.
Right.
In the last 6 months, I've found the registrars are just
Really?
So they're being held
Grilling
up by the registrar, so that's okay if they're late, but
grilling them.
okay, you
Grilling
can't
the
be
couple.
late at your wedding.
No,
to meet
they're-
the
If the
registrar.
registrars are late, that's on
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, okay.
So the wedding the other day, they were trying to. There was traffic, so many guests weren't there. So they were trying. The bride was trying to slow it down. I'm not ready to walk down the aisle yet. She's like, because their guests hadn't arrived. Registrar was like, "We've got another wedding. You do it now." This is the one I said earlier on. How she was said to the groom, like, "Stop mucking around. I've got to get to another wedding because you can't." Just because you're late, you can't affect the next
I
wedding.
agree. Yeah.
But the registrars at the moment.
But we have this with the shop that they'll turn up like half an hour late
Yeah.
for an hour appointment and then still expect an hour.
Yeah, we get this with appointments,
Oh,
and
do you?
it's a nightmare because often my weekend will be when we're not having a wedding, we'll have back-to-back appointments at many different venues. So I'll go from Coverwood Lakes to Guildford to Littlefield to Ripley Court, all over the place, and I might have a 2:00 there and a 4:00 there. And if someone's half an hour late and then they expect the full hour
love it.
appointment,
Yeah.
it's a
It's when they say,
nightmare.
we're just finishing off dinner. We're not quite ready yet. And you're doing a Zoom. I'm like, okay, no.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, it'll be tomorrow. And they're like, no, we'll be in half an hour. I'm like,
No.
yes, but
that
everyone's.
slot's gone.
Yeah.
No,
Here we go.
exactly.
Right, guests getting too tipsy too quickly, especially with the prosecco receptions.
Well, this also comes down to the timings
Of the wedding.
your day, because
Okay.
if you think about it, those guests might have only had breakfast.
Yeah.
They're also busy getting ready and
Yeah.
enjoying their morning.
Yeah.
And then if you've got a
So
1
they probably
o'clock
know they
ceremony,
started, particularly if they're
Haven't had
traveling.
lunch.
yeah, they won't have had lunch. If they've got a 1 o'clock ceremony,
Okay.
they'll have had breakfast, nothing else, and you're not giving them any food until 4 o'clock.
Someone-
Unless you're
Wow.
having canapes.
Yes, it's a long day.
they
isn't
will
it?
be smashed.
So make sure the canapes are good.
Yeah.
You don't want to go for the
Substantial.
little things.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been seeing like mini burgers.
Yeah,
which
we do some
which
really
have been
lovely ones that are
really
substantial.
like going down a treat and actually keeping people
Filling
on
people up.
track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, when they come across to the wedding breakfast, they're sitting down and they're like.
Appetite's gone because they're
No, they're starving. They're like, right. And the service just goes so quick because they're eating it and they're
But you don't have to have canapes. You could do a grazing table.
Yeah.
You could have a really nice table set out, depending on the number of guests. If you had 200 people, grazing table isn't going to work. But up to 80 people, you could have a really lovely table laid out where you're having your reception drinks and have a grazing table or a cheese board. Or
we had a sweetie cart recently.
Sweetie cart's lovely.
We've done that outside the other day.
Afternoon tea the other week. You know, it doesn't have to be canapé.
Okay.
But you do
Well,
need to have
something like that they would fill themselves up before.
But
you gauge that with the rest of the
But we're
menu
not
for the rest
eating
of the
until
day.
about
But some
7.
people aren't. Some people aren't even doing. They're getting married. Some people get married early, like we've said. A lot of people. And recently, next year, I've got a lot of people who are getting married later.
Yeah.
So they're missing out the canapes and the drinks reception, and just going from married, couple of photos straight into like a sit down meal. So they're not.
Oh, so is this making it cheaper?
Arguably, yes.
But they're spending more money than on a big. I don't know. They're spending that money somewhere else.
If you take it out of that, you're putting it into. You're then going to have a slightly
Skull
longer
math,
meal.
isn't it,
You'll probably
really?
have 3 courses, whereas you could have had 2 courses prior. So it doesn't necessarily save me money.
Okay, right. This goes over from the last episode that we did. Dietary requirements being overlooked. One hungry vegan at a table. Is this yours?
Might have been. I had a woman who once, she was diabetic and she hadn't told us, this was a guest, and it was afternoon tea and then some other food, and she said, I can't eat any of this, I'm diabetic. And we were like, oh God, we're really sorry. We had no idea. So we did what we could, and then she went, oh, sod it, I'll just eat loads of cake, I'll take some extra insulin. And I just did laugh because we had worked really hard behind the scenes to try and accommodate her. We were like, should we send someone to a shop to find something? And she was like, it's all right, just inject myself.
Yeah.
So it's really frustrating when, like we were saying earlier, like you go above and beyond. And you're like, oh, they don't really care.
But this is important for. This is important for.
My dad would have done the same though. That's why it makes me think that was my dad all over.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'll have some. I double myself up on insulin. Yeah.
This woman ate a lot of cake. She really went to town. It was hysterical.
That is what.
But we need, as couples getting married, we need to be investigating this. We can't rely on people telling us.
There's so much for people to think about.
And it's the older people as well. It's always like auntie, whoever it is, like the older generation they're not always as clear with their dietary requirements and, you know, their own health issues.
I had a guest, hello Michelle, because she watches, who basically has a tolerance to garlic. So she doesn't eat garlic. So wherever we go, it's like garlic, this, you know. So
and that's quite a tough one because obviously it's in
yeah,
almost
well, we had
everything.
pesto in one of our dishes. So she said, oh no, I can't eat that. I'll have 2 puddings instead. And I went, no, it doesn't work like that. You can have your husband's pudding and he can go with that. But again, I already knew about
balls of people. No, I just don't.
she did actually. My venue was fantastic, the De Vere group, but she actually got hold of Meshdi and said, any chance you can do me the dish?
Yeah, but he was amazing at your wedding, though.
He was fantastic.
He was.
I was so lucky.
Yeah,
absolutely bloody brilliant. But he actually cooked up a different dish.
Oh,
you know, so we were very lucky. But again, you know,
that's going above and beyond.
Definitely. Right. Okay. Older down. Right. Ready. Cake collapsing, melting in hot water, weather, and people touching.
I actually had something about this week. First time ever in 20 years. This was the couple had organised their own cake. It wasn't a supplier I'd recommended. And just to put that in writing. And the cake lady phoned me the morning of the wedding. The wedding was literally about to start. And she phones me and she said, I'm on my way. I nearly had a car crash and the cake's fallen over in the car. I don't know what she was doing. She built the cake and then was delivering it in 3T.
Build it there.
I know. I said to her, what? When she first said, I've just had to brake really hard. I was like, well, so what?
And she said,
I've never had anyone turn up with a built cake. They always build it at the venue.
She said she learned that mistake when she did her own wedding, where she drove to the venue with her husband to be drove with the cake on her lap and was petrified. So now she had like an ice compartment in her boot. Yeah.
And even your lap is wonky.
Yeah.
Like it's still tilted.
Yeah.
Like you still have to.
Why do I think there's a joke there?
Put something. No, but I mean, you have to. If you hold a cake, you've got to have like a towel underneath to make it flat surface.
But your hot's lap, right?
There's been weddings melt before. I've had a venue move a cake and knock a cake over, and marquee wedding when the cake was melting, and then they tried to move it, and they shouldn't have moved it, and the cake did collapse.
They need to be
down. But then where they caught it when it dropped, there was handprints in the back. So yeah, they caught the cake because it dropped.
Oh my God.
And there was handprints in the back.
Did they have a waiter just holding it?
No, but literally.
I would have done that. I would have done it on the table.
But then they said they weren't moving the cakes and they had to get in touch with the cake lady. She then came out and she was fuming that she had to leave her other cake where she was. And it was a big But the thing is, the bride still to today probably doesn't know.
No,
What
exactly.
went through
So much
that
stuff
morning
goes on
of that wedding, because we were like this. There was I can picture it now. I can't.
But I think if you're getting married in hot weather with these cakes, there are ways around it. Go look back at our previous episodes with Tammy. But you should be making them with rods in.
Yeah.
Dowlings in.
I don't.
So they don't.
This cake.
Yeah, then some people don't. Some people don't even have the cake on display until later on.
Yeah,
No.
we quite
In the
often
summer,
think about
it's literally it gets brought out. So it's literally in the chiller till later on.
Yeah.
And they say, well, it's 3 hours before it needs using, so we can bring it out now and put it on display. Because why do you have to have the cake out at 12 o'clock?
Yeah,
like, why?
You don't. Yeah.
I've made friends. I've made friends with this cake lady, and all her cakes are frozen.
Oh wow.
So by the time that she
You try to cut into the cake later on.
she's not here in the UK. She's
really
she's
hard to
abroad.
It's like, oh, this is.
No, but then it comes out. Then she ices it the day before.
Oh, so it's.
I was with you. I was thinking.
But it goes
was
back
thinking
into.
it was-
But then it keeps going back into the fridge, so it's still frozen, but it's defrosting really slowly. So by the time I get to my venues, it's got a good couple of hours on its side where it.
that is a clever idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that affects the cake or anything like that, but something to look at maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Something like that. But yeah, again, people don't realise what suppliers do.
Yeah.
I once took my handprints. I don't know whether you did that wedding. It's when I first started, so 24 years ago, and they were dressing in the box room, the hottest room in the house, the hottest day ever. And Mum didn't do the hook and eye up first before she did the zip, but she took the little toggle off its runner.
Oh God.
And you couldn't. You
can zip it up.
You couldn't get it up. So I got that phone call. I thought it was my son crying on the phone. In fact, no, it was the bride going, "Sharon, come and help me." So I actually went down there. There was no way of repairing that zip, and it was such a tight fit because she'd swollen. So I was sewing her up, pulling the needle out with my teeth because it was thick satin. So I sewed her into her dress. We told everybody to get out of the house and go and let them know. Like, it was the last wedding of the day. It was the church in Isha. And so the vicar knew about it, the groom knew about it, and we got her to the church. So I said, in the car, you're going to have to...
She's literally
like this, so don't move.
No
Don't
photos in the car.
Don't put any tension on the front. And her bridesmaids didn't come down and help. I'm still pissed off to this day. They were waiting at the top there and didn't all run down going, you're right.
But sometimes that makes it more stressful.
No, but they knew the situation. So we needed help to get the dress and support up and stuff. So I literally held the train and held her back in as she walked up the pathway as the videographer and the photographer were doing their front, and you couldn't see me.
Oh my God.
But I held her, and then and I got her up to the door, and I went, right, walk up with your shoulders back.
Yeah.
Because we did not want that dress to rip. And then I fluffed out her train as she went round that corner, and like a pro, she just walked. I felt so proud. Then I managed to get hold of the seamstress, and we met her at Nonsuch Park, and we hid behind a oh God, what do they call them? It's a screen, dress screen.
Oh yeah.
Having Bridgerton dress behind, and we go psst, psst, every time she walked past, and she could do it going like this, and then she clocked us, and we're like, upstairs, we've got a zip. And then we got her out the dress, and she had a breather she's grateful for, and we sewed a new zip in the dress, and off she went. But nobody knew.
Oh my God, well done you.
Nobody knew, but it was just like you said. But it's a good supplier is never going to let that wedding fail.
When I worked in dresses a long time ago, I had a situation where a mum phoned us, and they'd collected the bride's dress. Everything's lovely, and it was quite a full skirt with a lot of tulle underneath. And she'd hung it in the house, and the wedding was going to be at home at the parents' house, and the cat had got into the room and eaten and torn the inside. So you couldn't tell anything from the outside, but inside the cat had completely ruined the dress. And of course, then when she'd put it on, it wouldn't have hung properly. So the mother phoned us and said, whatever it costs, fix it. She already doesn't like my cat. So just
tell her the cat.
So the bride never knew, and we took the dress in that night. Overnight, the seamstresses literally rebuilt the entire inside of the skirt. I mean, it was like the mess this thing had made inside was just.
We've had cats literally rip up veils in bags.
So should you have animals at weddings then?
Well, that's at the house.
I've got quite a few weddings now that want animals. We've got a petting zoo at one wedding next year.
Have you a petting zoo?
The couple love animals. They want a petting zoo.
No way.
So sweet.
In the canopy.
Yeah, it's just like before that. It's going to be out So like the animals are going to
in
mingle
the
around.
evening.
A lot
They'll be on the table.
of the marquee weddings, when we spoke about this earlier on, you have the horses there and like you hear the horse neighing, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that they will start neighing at the wrong time. Definitely.
Yeah.
Suppliers stuck in traffic. My photographer, florist, and even the registrar ran late.
Shouldn't happen.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, I know you're literally super early anyway, and I always make sure.
I've had this happen with the registrar, and I actually thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to do the ceremony myself.
Yeah, because what happens when they run late?
They were stuck. It was
they
last
U-turn
year.
and go to the next wedding.
That'd be
They were stuck in really bad traffic, and I spoke to them. First of all, I couldn't get through because they were in the middle of nowhere, and they were coming from another wedding, and I was literally going, they're meant to be here, and they always they're always an hour before, really prompt. We see them all the time, and they just didn't turn up, and I was thinking, oh my God, and I didn't want the bride to know I was worried, so I just said, can I just have your booking confirmation number? And she was like, yeah, it's just on my phone. She had no idea that I was concerned. I took her phone just to check all the details, and because I suddenly was thinking,
did you put in the right day?
Yeah,
right
she had.
number?
Luckily, she had.
Yeah.
And then I called the registrars, and they were like, "We are in the worst. Like we're thinking about getting out to walk because it's just the traffic's so bad." Luckily, they got there literally 20 minutes before. But it was for a minute there. I was like, "Okay, what do I say?" Because I thought, well, at least if I run the ceremony, the day can happen.
I do think choose your suppliers. Choose your suppliers so wisely. You can't always, I mean, I get weddings all over the UK now, probably like yourself. We go everywhere.
Yeah.
But you do give yourself like ridiculous time scales. I mean, we're there to do the ceremony music now, so we're there all day. So you're there. So, I used to find years ago when you were just doing the evening, I'd still get there like 2 hours early. Yeah. Because you're like, I'm here. Because I didn't want that bride to be stressed, because that's the one thing.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to be stressed either.
No.
It's,
And we don't want to turn up and have any surprises.
No.
So we want to turn up and go, okay, everything's in place. It's all
Yeah.
should be. No, totally.
Can I just say, guys, if you're at a wedding and there are chairs missing, because if guests are running late and stuff like that, and there are chairs on the aisle, can you fill those seats?
So I do that. So I do that for a ceremony, probably like
Do you do
yourself.
that?
So because I'm doing the ceremony music and you're hosting, you basically say, fill up from the inside, not the outside. I said, is anyone sitting here? They're like, no, because there's nothing worse than a bride walks down the aisle
And people are
literally,
missing.
unfortunately, there's
They'll be
somebody
looking
missing.
around saying, right,
Yeah.
who's not here?
And it's actually a good idea to send somebody, an usher, down the aisle before the bridal party come in to check that no handbags are in the way, no glasses.
That's exactly what we
Like
do.
you were saying,
Yeah.
it's just for some and buggies. People who put buggies. A lot of our ceremonies are outside, and obviously everything looks beautiful. And then someone will arrive with a child,
100%,
that,
100%.
and leaves a bloody buggy at the back of it, and you're like, that's not where it goes.
Yeah,
So I'm always like, no, sorry, I'm just going to move this over here.
I'm 100% the other day. I was like, just going to put your buggy just over there out of view, because the first thing the
Goes
bride
in the
doesn't
car
see is the buggy.
But they are very protective of their buggies. We're having
They
a
are.
shop. We have like a no children policy unless it's the bride's children,
Yeah.
and they'll arrive with like the massive big buggy, and we're like, we've got nowhere to put it, and we're just going to put it over here. And they're like, well, will I be able to see it? And so
It's true, but like, it is definitely, that is just before she's about to get married, that I want that look to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I've even recently
no distractions. 'Cause
literally
it's scary.
taken away chairs. There was like a row of chairs last week, took the chairs away, and then the venue would take, why are you taking them away? Because I don't want empty chairs at the back when the bride walks down. They were like,
They've got to have the right number of chairs.
Good. Yeah, but the guests hadn't arrived.
Okay.
So they were like, literally, because they were stuck in traffic. So literally it was a case of, right, so we took 4 chairs away. Perfect. And then they did arrive. I said, well, you have to watch over there now because the ceremony started. We're not going to walk away and put...
You can't walk in halfway through a ceremony, can you?
Some people do. They think it's okay to do that. And I'm like, nah, it's not. And it's not that you want to be strict, but like in your planning, to always, and I always tell people, like evening guests, tell them to get there earlier than you want them to be.
Yeah.
Like if you want them there at 7, tell them 6:30.
Oh, listen, my son, he doesn't listen anyway, but my son, we always tell him, and my stepson as well, half an hour before we are doing anything.
Yeah.
So we if
We do a day before for my sisters.
But I think that's it.
He's waiting at your house today for you, by the way.
If you want them sat by 2:30, you've got to stay seated by, got to be there by 1:30, seating at 2. Because if they're running late, half an hour of grace is, I think, a good way to
But then
do it.
sometimes the registrar's 20 minutes late because talking to the groom overran, talking to the bride overran. So that actually gave them guests who were late time to arrive, which happened recently.
Is it worth planning for, this eventuality that the registrar won't turn up?
It's very unlikely, and they would always have a backup person who can be sent.
Right. Okay.
And
good to know.
there was this particular wedding. There was terrible roadworks. They'd shut roads. It was just one of
But
those
she's not
awful
getting
weekends.
through. Nobody else is getting through.
No, exactly. And we had some guests that were delayed as well. So it was just a really bad time. But we have had situations where a bride wants the photographer to photograph, say, the groom getting ready, her getting ready somewhere else, and then come to the venue.
Yeah.
And you've got to be realistic about the time that's going to take. For your
Yeah.
photographer, she's got to find a parking spot.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of equipment.
Double
on
shooters
load.
nowadays.
Yeah.
It's 100% forward.
Always. But
100%.
if they've only got one, or even if they've got two, just that time between places, you've got to factor in.
Uninvited plus ones showing up.
Oh, there's the door.
No, this happened at my second wedding, and luckily, well, not luckily for them,
For the daytime or the evening or anything.
anything. Luckily, they had two people had shingles. Elderly couple both had shingles.
Is that lucky?
It wasn't lucky. It wasn't lucky for them.
One person.
Who's that lucky for?
Is another
It wasn't
person's
lucky.
wedding
It wasn't
breakfast.
lucky for them, but it was lucky for me because
Food wasn't going to waste.
Yeah.
relatives of his mum's friend
Right.
turned up with his grown-up children. She bought a plus one that she met last week,
Oh.
and they turned up in top hat and tails, which was our dress code. And they weren't the party.
gosh.
So, and what can we say?
Yeah,
You know,
but
I'm the-
on the day when that sort of thing happens, I mean, what do you?
It doesn't happen. It's a respect. It's just shit.
It
I've had
shouldn't
people bring
happen, but-
girlfriends in the evening who weren't
Yeah.
invited.
Yeah.
But that's because.
That's bad enough. But to come to the day.
But today, I personally have never heard of that in a
Yeah,
day.
I've had
I
somebody
haven't.
swap their partner over. So when they originally invited with a partner, and then they split up, and then he brought somebody new.
Ooh.
And that they weren't on the list. That was on one of our questions, where it was actually.
Yes, I remember that now.
Was that with
Yeah,
you?
I think it was.
Is that the she was plus one for her boss
Yes,
because
I
she
remember
stepped
that.
in because his wife was poorly.
Yeah.
So she said, "I'll step in."
They got together.
No, Lee. Yeah, she walked in. So the plus one girl, on behalf of her boss's wife, walked in, saw the groom, who she'd been dating for the last 4 months.
Tell me more.
We need to get them on the show. Find out. We
He
need an
totally
update.
ignored her.
And then they went to a Coldplay concert. You got to see on the couch.
Right, I'll rattle through these quickly because we've got a few listeners' questions. Confetti forgotten or guests bringing the wrong type.
Yeah, that is a problem.
It's a real problem, isn't it?
We had this problem
Yeah.
recently because we only have natural petals.
Most people do nowadays.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
someone brought confetti,
we
like literal.
Stop
glitter.
taking rice to weddings, by the way.
Yeah,
it's coming back.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a religion.
terrible
It's a
idea.
religion way.
Is it religion?
Yeah, isn't it the Italian?
And it's
weddings?
fertility.
Italians, they love to throw the rice. Yeah,
Fertility.
yeah, but
But I remember,
The clean-up of that is a nightmare.
back in the day, that's what you used to throw was rice. And but
Yeah.
that's
It's also
coming.
quite painful.
Well, there's
Yeah.
again a video on TikTok with they're being pelted.
Yeah, that's because they got
Yeah.
their
Fun.
shovel. Yeah, yeah.
That was not fun. That was the best man. Items being left behind.
Because you don't think of
Yeah.
these things at the end of the wedding.
Yeah.
Like
No.
literally, I've literally done a wedding before at a venue, and there's a present table left. And everyone's left, bride, groom, couple, and they just assume
Yeah.
that someone's going to organise these presents.
Yeah.
And there might be money in there. Like,
Yeah.
that's all your lovely... And things like your guest book. Who's
Yeah.
going to make sure that's put somewhere
Yeah.
safe?
Yeah.
So at the end of the night, we give the guest book out.
Yeah.
We give the guest book to the couple to say, don't forget to take this with you, because we're there at the end seeing people sign it.
Yeah.
We've had people forget guests. So we've done a wedding last year where everybody, there was a coach come up, collected everybody. We're loading the van like an hour and 10 minutes later over there. Looked across, there's a woman absolutely paralytic on the grass over the other side.
Oh, my God.
On the golf
It
vert.
wasn't me.
No, it wasn't Sharon, but like literally. So I went inside again, got the manager. He then came outside because if it wasn't for me, she would still been in the morning.
be there now.
Because my van,
Oh,
obviously,
was she unconscious?
she was just asleep
Oh, my
on the grass, hammered. So I went and got the manager. He came out, got her, and that's for you to deal with.
Well, no
Yeah.
judgment. We've all been
But not.
Have we, Holly?
Yeah, but on the
Have we?
coach, the coach left with all the guests to go to the hotel.
Oh, and left her behind.
Left her behind. So things left behind. I
People.
guess.
People.
left behind.
Make sure you're taking your people with you, people.
And your rubbish. Like, some
rubbish.
venues will charge you for your rubbish.
Ah, yes, the
Whose
answer
responsibility is it for the rubbish?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's cheaper to get a skip. Just lob everything in
That's
there.
if you're doing, I imagine, one on a.
If you're outside and it's a marquee
Yeah.
wedding, it's always
But
good.
yeah, you don't want to be.
But
you
think
don't want
about
big,
this sort of
You don't
stuff.
want big bills. I do.
No, you don't.
You don't want big bills coming your way after the
Well, you go
wedding,
first, go on.
do you? To all those lovely men, go find. Oh God, hold on. to all those lonely men.
Lonely, yeah. Oh.
Go out and find that woman or man. Show them some.
Loving.
Get down
Barbie?
on one knee and express your love.
Oh,
I don't know. Oh,
that's nice. That's a good
that
tip.
looks like an old person's line, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, so it's somebody in the shop that's written that out.
That's
That's
lovely.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Romance is not.
Romance is not dead.
It isn't dead. This follows on from what we were just saying. Getting so fed up with people assuming they are invited because their girlfriend, boyfriend is coming. From Lauren. Thank you, Lauren.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an ongoing problem, really, isn't it? It doesn't seem to go away.
No.
We had this problem when we got married, and my husband's cousin was desperate to bring his latest girlfriend. And eventually we were like, fine. She didn't even say hello to me.
What?
Didn't bring us a present. And they broke up about 2 weeks later.
No way.
Yeah. And I was livid because she wasn't. I wouldn't mind anyone being there that is
But
then a
in
part of
your
the party.
photos.
Exactly. But she didn't bring anything. You know, when you're a guest at a wedding, you have to be a guest. You can't just sort of sit in the corner and be sulky. So, but no, it is a difficult thing. And I think the important thing is to look out of your wedding and think, I absolutely love everyone in this room, and not think anyone's missing.
If anybody can hear that noise, by the way, that's the rain.
It is very heavy rain.
That's what I say to people. For me, a pet hate is when you see someone go, "Hi, congratulations, I'm so and so's partner." If you've not met them before, what are they doing at their wedding?
Yeah.
And they'll be the ones who are getting smashed at the bar. They're the ones who are drinking on the canapes. They're the ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's wedding crashing.
That's. Yeah.
I have wedding crashed a couple of times myself.
Yeah, me too. Right, what's the next one?
I've got one. Went from a 70 people wedding list to 20. No wedding party. I don't trust them all to show up.
It's a bit sad.
It is sad.
It is sad, but do you know what?
But it's savage too. But also, you know,
But she's got 20 people there who she loves.
that's the right 20 people.
Yeah. He just doesn't trust to turn up.
£200 per person on the meal alone.
Yeah.
How much is that?
Yeah.
Do the maths. Yeah, there you go. Why am I wouldn't just give you that money. You know, so fair due.
No, I think it's nice now that we can have whatever we want at our weddings. You don't have to have loads of people. You could have 7 people. You could
Do it
have
however
10
you
people.
I do say that you shouldn't have invited them in the first place, by the way. You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that she's invited them and then de-invited them.
And she said, "Thank you for the dress. Made me feel so comfortable on the day."
One of our brides.
Open advice to running.
Okay, so last one. The hairdresser did not pin my veil. It blew off mid-vows and landed on a guest's head like a parachute. The officiant kept going as if nothing happened. You
have to laugh at that. That's funny though.
You do, but they do carry on, don't they? They do. They don't
tend to stop. I had a situation this summer where the bride was walking down. It was an outside ceremony at Ripley Court, and she was walking down to the ceremony outside. It was beautiful, and as I poofed the dress, the end of her veil got caught on a stone I hadn't seen in the ground, and it just yanked her veil back. Luckily, it didn't actually come off, but it kind of it did come off. It pulled it right off, but we fixed it, and she went, and she laughed, and actually she was really emotional just before she walked in, and actually it completely broke the ice, and she ended up laughing, and it was lovely fun. But these things happen. Stones on the ground that you don't predict.
Pin your veils, girls.
I'm about to stick. So just before the bride walked down the aisle, Lee, give me a hand. Give me a hand. My veil's come out down. I haven't got hairpins, and the wedding the wedding coordinator, the wedding coordinator took them out of her head. Out of her hair, and was sticking them in the bride's head because there wasn't enough pins in her hair.
Yeah, exactly that. These combs have got little holes in for you to actually put them through.
And they're quite heavy. There's a lot of weight in those combs.
If you've got a plastic comb on your veil, get your seamstress to change it over to a metal one. They stay in your hair better, and you can get the curvy grips in better.
Yeah.
On that note, should we say goodbye?
What fun we've had. I've learned
Where can we
so
find
much.
you?
At blankcanvasweddings.co.uk and on Instagram at blankcanvasweddings.
And where can we go and get you in your disco van?
LR Disco Entertainment, and Instagram DJ Lee Russell, and Facebook LR Disco Entertainment. So
That's it. And thank you guys for doing everything you're doing. These messages that come through have us howling in the shop. They're absolutely brilliant.
And the green room beforehand as well.
Yeah, in the green room as well. But they're also really important. You're being heard here, so keep them coming. Keep clicking us. We want to raise further from our 60,000 subscribers. And thank you for Liberation Cocktails for sending us our drinkies. Cheers, and we'll see you all next week. Bye. Cheers. Cheers. Are you finished yours?
Yeah,
Nearly.
It was nice.
Oh, that was really
Another
good.
one.